We're live. We're live, KJ.
Good morning. Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome back to our weekly recap.
What's up, everyone? Thank you for joining us today. We have lots and lots of stuff that's going on, that's been going on this whole week. It's been like a month, more than a month.
I
A
know.
lot of stuff going on. But we thank you guys for joining us today. We've got a lot of good things to talk about. We've got a lot of things. I don't know if we have that much ugly things to talk about, but I know we have things to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, we walked 8 properties as a team this week, I think. Pretty sure that many.
Yeah, collectively, I
Crazy.
think it's over 300 units for sure. Because on Wednesday,
Oh, way more, because you just did a 293
exactly,
yourself.
I don't know how many you guys walked, but that's what I'm saying. It was like more than 300 for sure.
I think we were over like 150, 160 on Monday.
Oh, wow.
Or was it Monday? I can't even remember it anymore.
Yeah, it was Monday. You know, the crazy thing, and for the audience listening too, like everyone here has met in person, except for that you guys met Myron for the first time in
Yeah,
person.
we didn't even realize it either. We're just like, hey, I'm like, wait a minute, like, is this our first time meeting in person? It just didn't feel like it because we feel like family already and we're always on Zoom or talking or on the phone or doing deals together. So it didn't feel like a stranger at all, which was cool. But now we officially have met everybody on the team in person. Now we just need to get everybody together in person for a group picture. I think that's where we're lacking. That way we can finally have a team photo of everybody.
I know, and we'll probably get that photo sooner than you think.
I know we got to get together soon. Your birthday's coming up.
It is. That'll be the excuse we need for everyone to get together, and
I'm down.
that's cool. Now, there's been a lot of things that have been happening too, guys. Aside from us walking properties, underwriting properties, talking to brokers, we are still under contract on a 40 unit property that we have in Tennessee with our partner Marcel and everybody else in this team. And we actually partnered up with our mentor as well. And guys, I can't even express how grateful we are because we have someone who's guiding us step by step on how to do this thing. So it's been amazing to see that our growth in just like less than 6, 7 months, and we have 30 units in or 30 units already in our portfolio, and then we're adding another 40. So we'll have 70 KJ, 70 units
That's so crazy.
under our belt.
It's crazy too because when we were walking those properties on Monday, we stopped. We were driving by and we saw the okay, so like we were talking to the property management company, right? The lady who runs it, and she was like, the problem isn't this place, it's the place down the street. And I was like, what do you mean? And so then we drove by that property and like almost every window was like um boarded up. It looked really ghetto. It was pretty intense, but the place looked huge. So like we're like, okay, we gotta stop. We gotta get a flyer, we gotta get information. Like, let's go talk and see. And so when we walked in there, the management, like the front desk area was actually completely redone. It was really nice. I was not expecting that. And we found out it was like 704 units. And I was like, man, I was like, all we need is one of these. All we need is one. And but sadly, they had just been bought out and had new property management.
Oh
So
man,
someone just went over there to help take over it. So I was like, darn it, that could have been ours, but maybe we'll find the next one. So
yeah, for sure.
that was cool though to go and see.
But look, isn't that crazy that 700 something units that you guys just saw, it would be the exact same effort that we're doing right now in all these other properties, and we would more than halfway be there. We'd almost be there in just one property. Isn't that
Yeah.
crazy to think, KJ? Like, damn,
Yeah.
be there.
Yeah, and It makes me feel like 40 units is really small, 30 units is really small. And it's crazy because the shift in mindset has changed so much for us because I think single family is more difficult than multifamily. Like I don't like wholesaling. I'm just like, man, this is so much work for just one property. I'm like, this is difficult. You get me a multifamily, I'm like, oh, this is a piece of cake, which is just crazy because I used to think the total opposite. I used to think multifamily is unattainable. It was difficult. How am I supposed to do this many units? How do I find the money? How do I do this? You know, there's so many questions, but really, when you get around the right people, have the right team, and have the right mentor, it's like, oh, wow, this is a lot easier than I thought. So it's pretty crazy changing your mindset. And now here I am thinking anything under 100 units is small. And I never would have thought that in a lifetime, you know, it's
I
crazy.
know. I was just gonna say the same thing. I was like, remember when we thought 40 units was a lot, and now we're like 40 units. Man, we should have gone for 100 units. Gone for 500, right?
Hmm.
It's crazy to think that our mindset has shifted so much since when we started, and it was just that, right? It's like we were stuck doing. Well, I wouldn't say we were stuck, but we were doing wholesaling before this, and so we were used to doing that. But the amount of work, like what you said, the amount of work that it takes to wholesale a deal, oh my gosh! Sometimes I can't sleep because of those wholesale deals. It's just headache after headache. Like that one we closed recently,
Yeah, that
so
one.
much work went into that one, and it barely closed, right? And the
Yeah.
reward for doing all that work wasn't necessarily the best.
Mm-mm. I'm
And
like, imagine if we took that same energy and time and put
and
it
put
into
exactly
multifamily.
put it into multifamily, exactly. And that's where I'm getting at is all that work that we spent, that we had to like make time for on that single family, we could have made time for it in a property in multifamily, and we could have just gotten so much better results. But it took us to do all that stuff to realize how easy, or not easy. I wouldn't say easy. It's not easy. I would say it took us all that work for us to realize that it takes the same amount of effort to do something bigger, which is crazy. Freaking multifamily. Man, we should have gone into this sooner, KJ.
I know. But I mean, I'm sure everything we went through was for a reason. And it's funny now because when I try and wholesale, like I feel like I'm not very good at it. Like I feel like a newbie sometimes just because I'm like, oh, like I've been so focused on multifamily that it's just like I think someone had asked me questions about something and I was like, I can only really reference you in multifamily. Like I don't know how to translate this into like they were talking commercial or something. I was like, everything I was saying to them, I was like relating it back to multifamily. I'm like, this is all I know right now. Like multifamily is like, I don't know. It's it's something I'm passionate about and I'm excited about because just the fact that you can raise the rents $100,
Mhm.
add pet fees, come and fix things up, and make over $1 million minimum. Like that's just crazy. You can't do that in single family. You can't scale like that with one house.
Yeah.
And also like I love having one address and then being able to have one property management company that professionally knows how to run a property and just have them run it for you, like
Hmm.
why would I want to go and run a single family house? I saw someone post saying like you're making 300 a month cash flow, but then by the time the water heater goes out or the AC breaks or you have to evict someone and then the time wasted, the money wasted with them not paying and then the eviction, it's like your cash flow is gone. Like everything that you were making evens out. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, no, thank you. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
That's a lot of work. What's up,
Yeah.
Joseph?
What's up, guys? How y'all doing today?
Good morning.
Good morning, bro.
And I wish I was a morning person. I really do.
The integrators.
I know,
Well, I got
right?
my
I only
blankie.
same way.
You got your blankie.
Yeah, I at least make it. Yeah, I got my blankie. Stay toasty.
It looked like it has snowflakes on it.
It does.
Hey, I got it from my sister.
It was a Christmas gift.
What's up, Carolyn?
Good morning. Good morning.
How's everybody feeling? It's a Friday, guys. We got to get pumped. We have a special guest coming on our multifamily Zoom in like an hour and a half. You guys gotta come find out who it is if you don't know already, or go
Or put a one in the chat if you have already signed up for the Zoom today.
Yeah, I was about to say, guys, we worked hard on our little website now. I just put it in the chat. You can go sign up there. And the reason being for that is we want your phone number and email, because now we can start emailing and texting you the link. So that way, I know a lot of people are like, oh, I forgot about it, or I missed it, or I can't find it. So now it's like, I'll be able to send it to your email or text it to you and give you updates. So that way it's easier to reach you guys for sending out the links for the Zooms we do. So
Yes.
check
By
that
the
out.
way, let's shout out Myron because he's in the chat. What's up, Myron?
He's at the airport right now.
Be safe, Myron. I'm excited for you this weekend.
We miss him. Oh, we need to share it within the Facebook group. Joe, we will share it for you.
Sorry guys, I had shared it on here. It goes straight to YouTube. Let me see. I will share it.
Yeah, Myron is going to California. He's going to a Raising Private Capital Mastermind conference thing. Amy Majuri's heading it out. There's going to be a whole bunch of people there. He's going to learn all about how to raise money the right way. I mean, we have a really good foundation of that, but doesn't.
It's always good to keep learning and
build your
networking.
skills.
That one thing that our team's really good at is divide and conquer. Very, very good at. So
Yes.
I always appreciate that. If Carolyn and Myron are an event, they're just gaining a bunch of knowledge and bringing it back to the group. And then vice versa. If Mina Yoni go somewhere, KJ and Joseph, they do the exact same thing. So
Yeah.
one thing you have, I think it's key. And I guess you guys would agree with me that it's key that your team keeps on growing and not just stays stagnant.
Yeah, I agree.
Absolutely.
So why don't we talk about on Monday? Give us the scoop, KJ, Joseph. I know Myron's away right now. He's probably listening, but how the property, I know you spoke a little bit about that 700 unit that you guys saw, but how were the walkthroughs and how'd that go? So the audience can also catch up on the stuff we've been doing.
So we went and saw, 119 units. And I think it was in better condition than the, I think 44 units we saw after. But the area was kind of like, I remember telling Joseph, I was like, next time you need to bring your gun, please. I was not feeling comfortable being there. Yeah. I mean, in the place was, it felt safe, but being around the area wasn't very safe. And I don't know, it was, it just made me question, or like, I don't know if I would feel comfortable. But that's the property management lady says, like, this area is very safe. Like, the apartment complex is very safe. She knows everyone that lives there. They're like family. But it's the apartments down the street that like bring in the hood that she was mentioning. And that's when we went and drove by and saw everything boarded up. And we're like, oh, so this is the troublemaker over here. But then that's when we found out that it had just been bought. So that means someone's gonna go in and fix it up, which is great, but I wish it was us.
Yeah, I want to touch on that a little bit. It's funny because, one of the things that we do when we're walking a property is after or before we walk the property, we go to a comp or similar property next to us nearby within the same vicinity. And it just so happened to be that 704 unit that was kind of hood a little bit, a little sketchy. KJ left out that there's police tape on some of those doors boarded up. So we went into the leasing office, KJ and I, and it was actually pretty nice on the inside of there. So it was definitely on the way up. But what I'm getting at is one of the things that we did, or one of the things that we do often, and everyone should do, is we walked in and we got a brochure of what they're charging for rents as well, or at least what they plan to charge for rents. And it's funny because KJ's gotten to the point where she just blurted out, "Are you guys selling? Would y'all sell the property?" Like we had just walked in and got there. "Hey, are you guys selling?"
Very to the point. I'm like, is this for sale? No? Okay, next. But I mean, we did get the information we needed and stuff. But it's funny too, because tell them how they reacted when you were trying to get information. Like you were trying to tell them, like, we're trying to buy the property, and they're like, what floor plan do you want?
Yeah, it didn't register with them that we could buy the property. And it was pretty funny. I mean, I didn't take any offense to it. It's whatever. I know I'm a younger person. It's not the average norm for a couple to walk in and just try and buy the building or the whole complex, I should say. So I understand. But it was pretty
No,
funny.
I'm not here to rent. I'm here to purchase.
Yeah, exactly. I said, "Hey, can I get a brochure of all the floor plans and see what the base rent you guys are doing?" And she was just like, "Yeah, sure. What plan do you want to see?" And I said, "Well, I want to see all of them. I'm looking to buy the complex nearby." And it just didn't click. It went right over her head. She's like, "Which floor plan?" And I was like, "No, I'm not looking to see a floor plan. I want to see all of them, all the floor plans." And then that's when KJ said, "Are you guys selling this one?" So it was pretty funny. Yeah, Myron, I see him in there. "I'm here to buy all of the units, not just one. I want to buy all."
It's like, yes, I would like to see every single one of them that you have.
You guys just walked in, but was it for sale at all?
The reason why we walked in is because like Joseph said, we want to go and see what other properties are going for comps, right? We want to see what our competition is. And we were told that property was the troublemaker, the one that was bringing in bad people into the neighborhood and things like that. So we're like, okay, what's so bad about it? Let's drive by. And then that's when we saw like so many windows, so many like police tape, like it was boarded up. It looked rough. So we didn't know if it was for sale or not, but we wanted to shoot our shot, go get information, and at least compare what is a place run like this renting for, compared to what we're going to rent ours for. So it's really good just to get a comparison, get a feel of the neighborhood around the complex that you're looking at. And, you just want to be able to see what's going on in the market.
For example, I know Oscar did that the last time when our team went and walked 8 properties in Houston. I know Oscar we had pulled over and Oscar went into one of the leasing offices.
Yep.
He was in there for maybe like 3 or 4, maybe 5 minutes. He comes out and he got information on that property. But what he also got was, hey, the same owner of this property is actually selling another property. We'll give you the information on that and see if we can do something there. And we wouldn't have found that property because they were not marketing it, but we found it because we went in and asked more about another random property nearby a property we were looking.
It also helps to speak Spanish, y'all. All the construction workers out there, Spanish speaking only. So I went up there, started talking to Ione was with me. I started speaking to them in Spanish, and they were like, "Oh, do you want to go see a unit? I know the manager's not here, but I'm the maintenance guy. I can go show you the unit." I was like, "Yeah, sure, why not? Let's go." And so they let us in a unit, and they were like, they even knew the rents. They were like, "This one's renting for like $1,200, and it's available." And I was like, "Well, actually, that's good to know." But I was wanting to talk to the property manager because I wanted to see if I can buy the building. He's like, "Oh, you want to buy it? Okay, yeah. Here's the number of the owner, or not the owner, the property manager. Talk to them." And I think they're selling a property down the street over there. So it helps to speak the language too, guys.
All the secrets come out when you speak
Mhm.
Spanish.
At least have one person on your team who speaks Spanish. Divide and conquer, because I can't.
You gotta get that Duolingo on your phone.
I know, or be like that person that like translate and then like here and listen to them.
No,
But
I mean like walking around these. I mean, even if you're door knocking these apartments in neighborhoods, if that's a method you want to go instead of calling brokers or whatever that is, that's an option too. Like, oh, just have a third party story. We're in the market to be looking, we're looking at a property down the road, and whatever that is, you build your story, and look how much information gets divulged just by visiting a nearby property. You get all the inside scoop.
yeah, definitely.
So that was Monday, right? You guys walked 3 properties or 2 properties?
We walked two.
We walked 2 that we were talking to, and then we walked that other random one just because it was.
Well, the second one, we found out that the seller of the property, the 44 unit, right? Or was that the 119? No, that's the 119. Yeah, the 119. Actually, we realized that other properties we were looking at buying was owned by the same owner. And so we already kind of got to feel like, okay, we know how the seller is. Like we kind of already know what to expect from the seller now. He's the type who is being forced to sell by his wife, so he has no motivation. And he wants.
Asked him, "What's the reason you want to sell?" And he said, "Well, my wife told me to." That's what he said. He's like, "Yeah, we're 76, and she wants to know when I'm going to spend more time with her and not time with my buildings." I told me right away. I was like, "Well, if we're not at his price, it's going to be very difficult to actually buy this because he doesn't want to sell in the first place. So he's going to hold out until he gets what he wants."
Yeah. But the second one I really liked, which was surprising because when we drove around it, me, Myra, and Joseph were kind of like, it's okay. We feel okay about it. And then we walked it, got to know the property management company. We met some of the tenants, and it was really like family there. It was like a community there that they've created, and the property management lady, she was like super passionate about it. I guess the people before weren't taking care of the property at all, and so she wanted to come in and let that be her project, that she helped turn things around for those people. So it was really cool to see the community that was there. And she even said that she keeps candy in her front office to get people to pay rent, which is funny because she said it works. So I thought that was funny, but that one was pretty cool. I did enjoy that one. It was a cool community, which surprised me. So I think you can't really judge it by its outside until you get to walk it, get to know the management company, check their reviews, see what's actually going on.
Yeah, I want to add to that as well because one street away from that second property was a nearly identical building that someone had come and already done the renovation. So it looked super nice. Yeah, it was a comp, but it looked really, really nice. It did not look as bad as the property, our subject property. Right. So we went back to that really nice looking one after we left the subject property. And Myron and I, we got out of the car and we were going to go do the same thing. We were going to go in the leasing office, ask for a brochure, kind of see what they're doing, what kind of rents they're charging, just get an idea, lay of the land, right? So we get there and there actually was not a leasing office. But what happened is we went around through the complex and we went to the back. It wasn't a very large complex. And there was a lady outside smoking a cigarette. And I just asked her, I said, hey, where's the leasing office? And she said, well, there actually isn't one. You got to call the number. And so I just started asking her questions. I was like, well, hey, how do you like living here? What's the area like? Is there anything you don't like? And it's funny because is there anything you don't like? Her answer was, well, really don't like that apartment building over there. It just doesn't look good. And I have a bunch of friends that live there and they only stay there because the rent's low, but you could tell that they just don't take care of the building. And it's true. Like
she's talking about the one that we are looking to buy.
Yeah, she's talking about the one we're looking to buy. And I was going to say, that was, our intention to buy the building, but then she started talking about it. And I was like, well, I think she's going to be more honest if she doesn't think I'm trying to buy it. She's going to be more realistic. And so we just kind of started talking about, and I brought it back towards the complex we were at. And I said, how do you like living here? What's the inside of the property like? Does it look good? Because we didn't say it, but she kind of just assumed that we were looking to get a apartment unit there at that complex. And I don't remember exactly what happened, but she kind of just offered. She said, hey, you guys haven't seen one yet? And we told her, no, we just got here. And she said, well, y'all want to see mine? So she just let us into her unit. And we were like, yeah, we don't, if you want to, we're not asking you to do that. Don't feel obligated. It's not what we came here to do. She's like, no, yeah, I don't care. Come on in. And so she let us in, and it was a really nice unit. So it told us that if we want to buy the other complex, that we're going to have to put in some good work, because that's going to be our competition. That's what we're comparing it to, right? And the reason on our subject property why people want to be there, because the rents are so cheap, is because they're willing to take the cheaper rents and get a lower quality standard of living, because it's an all bills paid property. So if we take away the all bills paid, now we lose the thing that's going for us, attracting people to the crappier property. So we're going to need to, in turn, fix up the property to comparable standards nearby, which they're going to look at that other property first. They're one of the really nice ones. They're going to compare it to that. And if we are far off from that, it's going to be hard to attract clientele, attract tenants into that building. So we got to make it look good. So that told us we need to put more into CapEx. That's what I'm getting at.
That was just Monday.
I know.
That was only on Monday. I think it's so cool that you can get so much information just by visiting another property, and you like never know what's going to happen. Like some random lady let you under a unit. I know that sounds really weird, but gosh, you wouldn't get that kind of experience if you went through a broker. I don't know. You get so much more inside information just by building rapport with the random lady smoking a cigarette.
And we saw the whole unit. She showed us everything: the kitchen, both bathrooms, both bedrooms. Like one of the bedrooms was her little daughter's bedroom. I felt uncomfortable being in there just in general. Like it's a little girl's room, like less than 7 or 8, somewhere around there. And it was just weird. I just didn't want to be in their unit. That's their personal space.
Yeah.
For me, I wouldn't have just invited some random strangers into my house. So I don't know. I guess we were very non-threatening, I guess. So that's good.
Awesome. What about Tuesday?
Yeah, you're right. That was just Monday. Now it's Tuesday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Tuesday, Ione and I went to go walk a property in College Station. And there's actually 2 properties. It's a smaller portfolio of 40 or 50 units or something like that. 51. Ione's 56. So Yoni's correcting me in the background. 56 units. Get it right.
He's gonna roast you.
I know. And what we liked about this deal, I'll tell you what we liked about it, is that it's 100% occupied. Second, no marketing. So they're 100% with no marketing. And third, they're doing 2 or 3 units or maybe 4. I don't remember how many, but they're doing units as short-term rentals in that property. So they're doing Airbnb, which is great because there's opportunity to do more Airbnb in those units. And so that's the things that we enjoyed about that property. And there's so much more opportunity because you should have seen that second property we walked, guys. The people who lived downstairs had their own personal backyard, and it was pretty big for an apartment. So the broker says there's no premium that's being charged for someone who lives downstairs with a backyard. Man,
Wow.
That was the second property.
The second property that we
both backyard spaces, and none of them were being charged for.
Yeah, crazy. And so we really we left there feeling good. The only thing that we thought might have been a little bit of a downside, actually, I don't know that there was any downside because the location was pretty good. It's not far from great stuff. I think there was like a Starbucks nearby and like a bunch of other stuff nearby. It was a Class C, but it was in a great location. So it was really good to see that and meet the broker. The broker himself was really young. I think he's like 23 years old. You could tell this dude told us he just left or he just graduated college or whatever he went to. He just graduated, and he's walking the property with us. He's like a amazing guy. Don't get me wrong. He was real cool. It just looked like a baby face and a big guy, big teddy bear, and he was there helping us out. It was great. We enjoyed him a lot. It was other than that, I don't think there was anything bad on that property that we didn't think it was. We didn't think anything bad of it or anything like that. There was just a lot of opportunities that were not being implemented in that property. So it was a good experience. We did a lot of good stuff there. We even checked the area and looked at another property that we were looking in that area, KJ, that really nice one in that area. We drove to it and we checked it out, and it was really nice on the outside. It was kind of hidden in the back, but it was still a very nice Class A unit that we Class A asset that we saw. So if it ever comes up again, it's nice. Put it that way. But that was Tuesday. Tuesday was pretty short and sweet. Just a little bit of a longer drive, but it was worth it.
And so now, next steps. What are we going to do? What are we going to be doing with them?
Oh, I didn't even talk about Wednesday.
I know. I was like, there's Wednesday.
There's 3 more on Wednesday.
That's right.
293 units on Wednesday. 3 properties. And Myron was with me. Ayoni was with me. Our amazing broker, Zach, was with us. And then we walked it with the listing broker as well. 3 properties, 2 in the DFW area and 1 outside Dallas, about an hour south of Dallas. And the first one that they showed us was probably the least favorite in our list. And there was just a lot of opportunities there that were not being implemented. It was not all bills paid, but for the most part, you could call it an all bills paid. I think the only thing that they were paying was for electricity or something like that. And when we saw the area, it's kind of like what you were saying, KJ. It's like the trouble child of the portfolio in this case. But the property manager said a few things about that property that we were just kind of like, what? You know, it's kind of like they didn't know what the allocations were for certain things of the utilities. And you can tell that it was just like, we don't know. We just kind of adjust, but I don't have an answer for you. You know, there's a lot of things that kind of little things like that just kind of threw some red flags that okay, if we were going to do underwriting, we need to make sure that we get that information, right? And so the first one was a little bit of a troubled child, a lot of opportunities, but I don't think it would meet our buy box per se, right? The second property we walked in the DFW area. That one was a little bit nicer, and that one was ran a lot better. And on top of that, the tenant base was very hard, working class tenant base. But one of the things that I liked when I was talking to the property manager there is that they said that the tenant base was really good on paying rent. She had no problems at all. But that first one, they did have problems on people paying for rent. So the second one, they worked on the tenant base, and they got it to a certain point where they're no longer having to worry about people not paying for rent on time. I'm sure there might be one or two, but it was a lot better. A lot of opportunities there as well. KJ, it reminds me of your story about the 700 something units down the street that boarded up, looked bad, but recently bought, because the property right next door, literally right next door, troubled child as well from that little neighborhood. And people from that property were going to this property that we were walking. And we asked, is that building for sale? Or is that apartment building for sale? And the broker said, they just bought it. Someone just bought it. And we're like, dang it, man. Someone just beat us to it. But when we were talking to the broker said that current owner, the new owner, didn't think it was going to be that much work. So I think they bit off a little bit more than what they can chew. Because it's a big value add project. Just looking at it from the outside, you can tell there's a lot of work to do. And so they just bought it, and they're trying to work on that. But that was the second property. The third property we saw south of Dallas, about an hour away. That was definitely the nicer one out of all the three properties that we walked. It's a Class B. What was that, Joseph?
Is that you said southeast of Dallas?
Like south of Dallas, about an hour away.
Okay.
Yeah. And that one was a nice property. It is a Class B. You should have seen Myron. I think Myron fell in love with that property. He couldn't stop talking about it. He was like, man, that last property, like, man, we got to get that one. It's one of those where you take a picture and you show it to your investors. You're going to be super proud of it. Super, super proud of it. And remember
that now.
Yeah. See, I told you, excited about that one. He loved that one. And we did too. Don't get me wrong. We loved it too. Rents were great. Tenant base was awesome. They're kind of like side by side, kind of like townhomes, but they're all within that same little community there. And the amenities were good. There's a lot of opportunity for other things to be implemented in that property. But overall, that one was the best one. And I'm glad it ended that way, because they kind of showed us, and I don't know if he did this strategically or not. This is what Zach was talking about. They showed us kind of like I guess you can say the worst and the best for last. Right. And we ended up just chatting about that property. And we're like, man, huh? Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Ione was correcting me here. But the other thing that we liked about that last property is that there's a waiting list to live at that property. That's when you know it's a good property. And so, like, us leaving there, like we were like, we gotta try to do something with this property because we love it. So those three properties, out of the three, we really liked the second and the third one. And so we're going to do some underwriting with our amazing broker team who's already underwriting the deal for us. And they're going to present the underwriting to us either today or tomorrow to see where we're at so we can make an offer on that property. But it was amazing. Amazing. That was Wednesday. Yep.
It's been a busy week, but like that's the good thing about dividing and conquering, because Tuesday we were having a CRM session. So the fact that like Oscar and Ione could go walk those properties while the other half of the team is like working on putting our CRM together was really awesome, because if we all had to be at the same place at the same time, sometimes it's hard to get things done, so it's good that we get to, like, I think all of us were split up this week, going to different properties, doing different things, working together as a team. So like while some of us are walking properties, the others are holding down the fort for the rest of the stuff we had to do. So definitely important to have a team in that sense.
Yeah, and I remember Carolyn was mentioning hey, Myron, appreciate you, bro.
Later, Myron. Love you, bro.
Be safe.
Carolyn was saying, what's next, right? So what's next for us is we're going to take all the information we got from the walkthroughs and implement it in our underwriting so we have a better, accurate numbers so that we can make a good offer on those properties. And some of the things that we're realizing still is that the brokers are waiting for our offer still. They're waiting for us to finish what we need to do and submit an offer to them. Although sometimes they'll say there's a call for offers on a certain day. We're realizing that sometimes they're just adding urgency, but there's really no call for offers, or if there is, they're not getting the right offer for that time period. So it's not to say to take your time or don't take them seriously. You still want to present your offer, but you want to be strategic about it when you're presenting your offer, right? So I know one of the things that we were talking about with Zach was, Zach knew what the whisper price was. So strategically, we know what we can come in at versus the wiggle room that we have as well in our underwriting, right? Because the way we underwrite, I think Joseph has touched this on this before, is we have different types of underwritings, right? We have like an aggressive model, we have a conservative model, and we have like another model. I forgot what it's called, Joseph. Sorry, bro. But we have those models, and based on that, we have wiggle room on what we can do. So once we get that underwriting completed, then we will talk with our brokers, our awesome brokers who are helping us out on these deals, and then strategically submit our offer whenever it comes time to it.
Amazing. I saw a question up here from Rob Sema. I'm not sure if we answered it.
I know we've got 11 minutes.
You what?
We got 11 minutes.
Oh gosh. Okay.
before we have to jump on another meeting.
Yes. So we can answer a couple quick questions. This one just kind of seemed in tying nature with what Oscar was talking about. Where do you get the funds to do rehab? How is that factored into underwriting?
It depends. You can get them from multiple different places. So you could have deep pockets. That's one. We do not. You could raise the money. You could include that in your equity raise. Just depends on how you structure it. You could bring in a key principal or a financial partner that just puts up the funds. You could get that as part of your loan. You can get a construction loan, similar to like a hard money loan or something like that. It's called a bridge loan. And they will actually loan that whatever you underwrite in your CapEx budget, they will actually loan those proceeds as well. You could also, I want to say that in some long-term debts, they will also give you the CapEx budget, but not most of them. Well, typically when you do a longer term, you're going to have to raise the CapEx yourself. So it's just like going to raise the funds for a down payment.
We lost you.
He'll be back.
Yeah.
He's underwriting right now. This device. Okay. He's coming back. All right. Awesome.
All right. I'm back. Oh, man. I thought you guys were looking at me funny. All I see is blank stares. I guess it froze. So I don't know what y'all heard.
No, we were just blank staring at what you were saying.
Yeah, but could y'all hear me?
Yeah, we heard. Well, we heard for the most part, I think. I don't know what we missed.
You said it's like getting funded for a down payment, and then that's all we heard.
Okay, yeah, in a long term, or essentially you can raise the money from other people. You could have the money. You could bring on a person with the money. Typically, we just include it in our raise. We just include whatever we budget for CapEx. We include that in the amount that we have to raise. So it would be that, closing costs, any down payment if necessary. We include our acquisition fee in there as well. So all of these things you budget for, and you put together a chart. We just got an official one. It says sources and uses page, and you just plug in all the numbers, and boom, that's how much you have to raise for the properties.
Yeah, because I saw a question here, like where you get the funds. I think that
how
pretty
you
much
guys
answered
getting
it.
this one?
I thought that was a question.
Okay, Tiffany. Okay, I think we could probably take one
yeah.
last question. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you say? Okay, Tiffany's got one here. Good morning, Tiffany. Guys, have a question. When talking to brokers about properties that are currently on the market, do you ask for rent rolls right off the bat, like the first conversation, or do you wait after building rapport? I think it's dependent on, for me, I think it feels dependent on where the conversation is going, like how much rapport you've built into the conversation, and if it's leading that way. For me, like, okay, if it all happens in one conversation, that's fine, but like maybe it's a follow-up, maybe it's an email. I don't know. What do you think, KJ?
I called a broker that I have never had a conversation with yesterday because of the lead that Myron sent me. I said, send me the CA so I can get the financials. And he sent it. I think it all is coming in with confidence. I said, this is what I'm looking to do. I asked the questions I needed to ask in regards to the property. I said, but I need financials. I was like, we can put in an offer, but I need financials. How can I get them? Because he was telling me to go to a website or whatever. I was like, no, like, can you send me an email with the CA? Let me sign it and send me the financials. And then that was it. Like, I didn't build any rapport with this guy or have any previous conversations with him. So I think it's like, I knew what I wanted. So I got on the phone and got what I wanted. You know, I think having that mindset of having a goal or an intention behind the phone call. So if it's on market, you already know the deal you're looking at. It's like, okay, you can have conversation, but you can't do anything with that deal until you get financials. So it's different than cold calling brokers who you're trying to see if they have properties. I think if you're cold calling them to find properties, it's like, okay, well, you don't know which properties they have, if they have any. So it is good to build up your credibility and get to know them. But I mean, like I did yesterday, I was like, I'm like, I got 100 other things I need to do. Like, send me the financials, please. So I think it just depends on how you're going about it and what you need at the moment. And I don't know. That's me.
I think I was coming from the mindset of like our cold calling brokers. Yeah, they probably have deals that are on market, but I'm coming from the mindset of that. Whereas, yeah, if it's like on market, it's like, okay. It's very similar to, you know, calling a realtor for a property that's on market. Like, yeah, let's get it done. Like, are you still accepting offers? Where is this? Why are they selling? What do we got to do? So yeah, I agree.
Basically, just come in like a straight up savage and just demand what you want.
That's why you have KJ and Carolyn at the front end of this.
We're like Sour Patch. We're sour and then we're sweet or whatever it is. Like, we're both. Yep. We can be stern and savage, but then we could be like super sweet and awesome at the same time. You know, you gotta have you know, someone that doesn't let people run over them, but at the same time, you know how to handle conversations and be that like, oh, she's so sweet, we love her, you know.
I'm like, damn, don't piss her off. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Got roasted by us yesterday.
I got roasted, guys. And,
like
but nobody was there. Nobody was there when Carolyn roasted herself, and nobody witnessed it to me. So I was like, "Oh, that's not fair." I got roasted like 3 or 4 times.
I don't even remember what the roast of myself was.
Exactly. No one will remember anyway.
What did I just do? I think it was something pertaining to math. Anyway,
that's funny.
Love it. All right, guys. We have another meeting we need to jump into, and then we're going to be... Okay. I was like, did Myron hop back in?
Yeah, I was about to say, I haven't been posting the link to the Zoom like we normally do. We're trying to funnel you guys into our new website to sign up. And if you sign up, it's free, but it asks for your information and it'll send you the link shortly after. This is so that way we can start sending you information. And also for all of you who want to walk a property with us, guess what? This is how I'm going to send out information saying, hey, we're going to walk a property, like if you're available. So the only way you'll find out that information is if you sign up on our link. So that way I can send you an email or a text message saying, hey, this is when we're going to walk a property. If you're available, you're more than welcome to come. So this is the only way you're going to find out. This is how we're going to start posting the links to the Zoom. So please sign up at this website. It's on the screen at jbmlegacy.com.
Yay!
And we have a Zoom in 1 hour with a special guest talking about mindset and multifamily. So it'll be really good.
And you sign up for that Zoom the exact same way. Go to that website, jbmlegacy.com.
Andrea says, can we invest in your deals?
Absolutely.
We have a form for you to fill
Well, we're
out.
working on it, a new one. We're working on a new one to funnel in.
Just sign up for that Zoom and we'll capture your info and we'll start sending out that form.
Yeah, we'll be able to put out all of the opportunities that are coming up and how you can participate in that. In the meantime, we will see y'all in an hour. Tell your friends.
Invite people, comment, like, subscribe, follow. All right, bye guys.
Appreciate it.
Bye, guys.
Bye.